Big exciting news as Mitch McConnell announces, just hours after his re-election to the Senate as another Republican, and potentially as the number one Republican in the country, that stimulus will get passed right away in the next few days. Yes, this is categorically jaw-dropping, incredible great news. And it's not just fake narrative, it's true. Stimulus is finally coming. And this is the series debut of our new show, Being a Mitch. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is the series debut of our new hit show, Being a Mitch, in which we focus on Mitch McConnell's push to get stimulus. I can't believe that's what the show's about. Yes, it's not about pushing to avoid stimulus, it's about pushing to give you stimulus. This is amid comments by Mitch McConnell minutes ago that came after our special report on afternoon's LALATE, which debuted at about 12:30 Pacific Standard Time. This taping is just shortly after this, and the comments are jaw-dropping. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please do, because no one's keeping you up to date and on the cusp of everything breaking, whether it's politics, national news, teeth whitening, or how I keep my hair looking so good. It's a great, fun channel, so I'm so glad you tuned in. Please subscribe and make sure you hit the alert on the front of this channel so you get an alert when a new video goes live. Also, like this video. It really is helping with the algorithm. We've been ranking all well today. Yes, in this video, I'll be going over the series debut of Being Mitch and why Mitch McConnell is now the advocate for your stimulus. What will be in the stimulus package, what will not be in the stimulus package, how quickly it could come, why this is actually stimulus now, not after the inauguration. It's now. And why her way of the highway is sort of ending as a dead end, and it's now the road or the toad. Let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is that Mitch McConnell has become the voice of reason, and America is going to crap. When did Mitch McConnell become the voice of reason? I just don't know. But that is the new and refreshed Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell has notoriously always been the elected official who can get things passed very quickly. And when I mean quickly, I mean literally the fastest legally he can get it passed. And he says that stimulus will be that. Oh, you want to put your feet down, just sort of sit down. Yeah, I need to sit down as well. I am already sitting down. Mitch McConnell made these comments today as he was referred to as Senate Majority Leader because the Republicans are set to retain control of the Senate. This is Nancy Pelosi's worst nightmare. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me back up and give you a little bit of background on where we are. Nancy Pelosi, in May of this year, introduced a $3.4 trillion bill, which she called a stimulus bill, that was not a stimulus bill, because of the 3.4, about 2.9 of it is not about stimulus. It's about giving salary raises to government employees who already make six figures a year. They already make $120,000 a year, and she wanted to give them a bigger salary raise, which had nothing to do with stimulus. And when you looked at the bill, her amount of stimulus for you kept on getting smaller and smaller and smaller as time went on. She took out housing pay, she reduced the stimulus checks, she declined the FPUC offers from the Republicans, and then when she declined them, then she didn't do them retroactively to when FPUC expired, so suddenly she wasn't even paying you for the month of August. So as time went on, she kept on keeping big bailouts to people who don't need stimulus that had nothing to do with stimulus. It's basically a government funding bill, and then your stimulus, which was the real stimulus, was getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Well, today Mitch McConnell says, you know what? Her way to the highway, now it's the road to the toad. And guess what? I'm putting it up for a vote right away. Boy, and let me give you the broad stroke before I get to the details. The broad stroke is that you, now the Purple Power, the followers of the channel, are more important than ever before. After you have now won with seed and stimulus, you have won with seed and stimulus by getting elected officials out of Congress, both Republicans and Democrats, both in the House and Senate. Incumbents all across the map lost last night because they did not give you stimulus. Now the focus is to give the right amount of stimulus to the right people, because Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi will have to rewrite and start over from scratch. Let me explain where we are. Steve Mnuchin may not be the negotiator. If Donald Trump is not reelected, Steve Mnuchin may not be the negotiator, and that Mitch McConnell would be the number one ranking Republican in the nation, and that Nancy Pelosi's nightmare of never negotiating with Mitch will now have to be a reality, because he will say, listen, it's not your way or the highway. You did not win the Senate. You did not win the Senate, and you lost seats among your own members in both bodies of Congress, and we both did, because we weren't acting as a bipartisan body. The people who were elected last night were people who said that they supported the Problem Solvers bill, the bipartisan bill. Among them were Lindsey Graham. At one point, Mitch McConnell said he supported it, and others who said they wanted to support it as well got reelected. Susan Collins, who I initially incorrectly reported someone had told me that she had lost. She actually did win, and she's among the people who tried to step in and get stimulus done quickly by standalone bills, even though it was not our standalone bill. And so those people who really tried to do things got reelected, and those that did not are gone. Thank goodness. So let me go over Mitch's remarks. And how much stimulus would you get? When would you get it? How much would it be? And this is just incredible, great news. And I'm reading this cold, so I'm hearing these remarks for the first time like you are. He said this morning, as I've said repeatedly in the last few months, we need a rescue package, stimulus package. Hopefully, the bipartisan passions that prevented us from doing another rescue package will subside after the election. And I think we need to do it, and I think we need to do it before the end of the year. I think that's job one when we get back. Hopefully we'll get a more cooperative situation than we've had. Wow, that's incredible, great words. The first word is, it is job one when we get back. Okay, so mark the calendar. When did they get back? When did they get back? When did they get back? That's the first thing. Second, they have a federal budget they got to do by December 11th. So they got to do this one before the federal budget. So he's saying, I'm going to get this done before anything else. So, lobster bill, back in the line. Pot bill, back in the line. Actually, the pot bill's not even going to pass at this point. The senators who thought they were going to win the Democratic seats in the Senate, then one of those crazy bills, those aren't ever going to show light of day now. The Broadway bill, get to the back. Airline bill, get to the back. We are front with stimulus. Democrats did win the Senate race in Colorado and Alena, Arizona by 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The speaker had laid out, let me go more on what Mitch's continuing remarks were. The speaker had laid out a $2.5 trillion package. Actually, no, it was 2.4, and then it went to 2.2, but who cares? With all kinds of things I felt were simply unrelated to the subject. He's being very polite there, actually, in his words. It's not that you felt, you're actually correct. The vast majority of her $2.5 trillion bill was not stimulus. It had nothing to do with the American economy. It did not go to the people of this country. It did not go to the voters. It did not go to the citizens. It went to the federal government. It was a bill to bail out federal government officials and give raises to federal government officials who don't even deal with COVID. It was not to, retrofit their offices for COVID-19 issues. No, it was actually a salary-raising bill that gave big salaries to big government officials who already get paid six figures a year, already have a job. They have a pension, it's a six-figure job, and they wanted to give salary raises to them and call it a stimulus package and wanted us to not catch that. Oh, we caught it. I caught it. It's got it real clear. And then there was the bailout of state and local. And I'm getting to that in a second. Nancy Pelosi wanted $400 billion of state and local and never said that she was doing it. It took us upwards of 3 months for us to even learn that there was a $900 billion bailout of state and local. She never to this day ever acknowledged it existed in her bill. It was exposed by Steve Mnuchin during an early CNBC chat. He said the money had nothing to do with COVID-19. She wanted it as a free-for-all. Use the money for pensions, use the money to paint the Capitol building in states and mow their front lawns, buy new furniture. It had nothing to do with you. And so ultimately the White House came to $300 billion based upon our pushing and my pushing, that would require the money only to be paid to frontline workers and no one else. She rejected that. And so Mitch says, you know what? Why are we spending all this money for stuff that has nothing to do with stimulus? He is exactly correct. You need money, you go get the money yourself. I laid out, this is Mitch continuing, I laid out on the Senate floor, not once but twice, $500 billion targeting the school situation, the need to replenish PPP small business loans. Ultimately, you got to kill the virus before you get back to normal, because there's no other way to get back to normal. You can keep pumping money into the economy forever, and it won't solve the problem until you solve the virus. Kill the virus. Having said that, there are other sectors that need help, and I outlined what I think is appropriate, but I don't get to make the final decision. We have to deal with the Democrats, and what I'm saying is, I think now that the election's over, the need is to sit down and work this out. This is incredibly great news. He's basically saying that her way or the highway was really what we were dealing with for 6 months, and everyone knows it. There were deal provisions in there that no one would agree to, that literally, and the problem solvers came to knock on her door in, what was it, July, when I was reporting that when they were negotiating still with her and Mnuchin, and I told you the problem solvers were coming to her door, and she didn't let them in. So when she didn't let them in, and then when they announced their bill, their proposal, the problem solvers bill, guess what she said? She said it's a Republican plan. It's not a Republican plan. It's written by both Republicans and Democrats. So you see this new spirit, which is so refreshing. I mean, it's beautiful weather today. I wish you could see the context in which I'm saying this recording. It's warming up in LA. It's completely blue skies. There's not a single cloud in the sky. It's a light blue. It's absolutely gorgeous. You can tell by the lighting that the lighting is very nice and crisp right now. It feels sort of like, a nice warm winter day or a fall day, and you could see this sort of new aura. It's like a bad thing has been lifted off our shoulders. So let me go over where I think Mitch will bring this to, and where Purple Power has to push. First, I think that state and local is entitled to something, but is not really entitled to more than $150 billion. The Moody's Analytics and the Governors Association said, hey, $150 billion, that covers you for your shortfall on revenue for the 3 months we're on lockdown. And you know what? You'll get back to normal. We all getting back to normal. We're not giving you 3 years of bailouts. You're not giving us 3 years of bailouts. Why are we giving Andrew Cuomo and Gavin Newsom 3 years of bailouts? 1 year to get back on your feet, $150 billion state and local, that works. All right, FPUC. Let me go over what you absolutely categorically need, and I think you should get, and I think you will get. First, you need to solve FPUC, PUA, and FPEUC. FPEUC expires in December. PUA expires in December. And FPUC is already expired. All these things have to be fixed, and the new expiration dates, either you do this, in my heart of hearts, I would say do second stimulus and third stimulus together, so I don't have to keep on reminding these congressmen to do third stimulus. Just put it out to like May of next year or April of next year, and then tie it to something like the virus and unemployment numbers, and then it can expire quicker if the things go away. Isn't that so simple? You absolutely need to extend these weeks. People are running out of weeks for PUA. People are running out of weeks for FPUC. You need to have for PEUC. They're running out of weeks of eligibility for unemployment benefits. You need FPUC to be retroactive to late July. We are here in November, so that would be August, September, October. That's 3.5 months, 12 weeks at some number should be landing in your bank account lump sum right now. I think it should be 400. So 400 times 12 weeks, you do the math because I'm on camera, but that's at least, $4,000, $5,000 should be landing in your bank account if you've not gotten this FPUC to date. It's their fault and it should come. They allowed FPUC to expire in late July, took 2 vacations. It absolutely should be there. And then it should be extended all the way to March or April. Next, stimulus checks. The problem solvers bill said 2 stimulus checks. Put that second stimulus check from March up now here. And then get ready to do a third or fourth. Do multiple stimulus checks. Do consecutive stimulus checks. But one stimulus check is not going to cut it from March to the present and all the way up to the future. Now, we understand when we're dealing with Mitch McConnell. He has never explained to the American people. And I really do wish if he does a news interview that the reporter has the audacity to finally ask the question, Mr. McConnell, why have you never put stimulus checks in any of your drafted bills? It's important to ask that question because I don't understand why. Because when he's not introducing bills, he says he wants stimulus checks, and then when he introduces the bill, it's not there. That's what's important. Then you need to have grants as much as you have loans. Mitch wants to give PPP loans. He wants to give EIDL loans. I got that. You want to do Main Street lending loans. Great. That's good. But also there should be EIDL grants in there. There should be the CDC grant. There should be hazard pay grant. There needs to be rent and food and eviction moratorium. I mean, eviction moratorium is very Republican. I never understood why a Republican would not agree to an eviction moratorium or a mortgage forbearance. We're going into lockdowns. It's very Republican that you don't want landlords to lose their properties in foreclosure. That's a Republican platform, so why would he not agree to it? I think this is absolutely incredible, great news. It's just incredible. But what's important now is that the Purple Power needs to push with the deal items. You can see how I'm rushing this because this is really breaking news, and I haven't even thought out all the deal provisions of how we push. But we are. And that's how we're being a Mitch. If you've not subscribed, please go to the front channel, subscribe. Because together we're going to be a Mitch, and we're going to learn that being a Mitch gets us our stimulus. And also like this video. Coming up is Street and Stimulus. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay in LA for more.